Troy Lesane and New Mexico United return home to Isotopes Park here in Albuquerque, New Mexico to bounce back after their first loss of their inaugural season here in the 2019 USL Championship campaign to take on a fellow top 3 side in the Western Conference in Cameron Knowles' Portland Timbers 2. Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here on Friday Night Lights. Tyler Terrence along with the ex-German pro Devin Kerr, and boy, do we have a good one for you here tonight. It's the Wild Wild West of scoring. Both of these teams have been scoring bags of goals as of late. Let's start with Portland Timbers 2. They're off to their best start in club history, Dev. They're scoring a lot of goals. However, they've been exposed at the back as well.
Cameron Knowles is going to be happy that he sees the big names like Foster Langsdorff, Renzo Zambrano, and even new acquisition Todd Wharton. But when you have 3 out of 4 on your back line hitting the back of the net, Modou Jadama, Adrian Dispe, and Nathan Schmidt, that doesn't hurt. Defensively, have to find a way to lock it up. New Mexico United is too talented going forward. They will make you pay. Very inconsistent for the back four from T2. Can they put in a good performance tonight?
For Portland Timbers 2, Dev, as you mentioned, they're sharing the ball. A lot of different people are doing the scoring. For New Mexico United, there's been one man who's stolen the show in Santi Moar. He's been absolutely outrageous since coming over from the Bethlehem Steel. Kevon Frater jumps in that as well, but New Mexico a bit different in the way they attack than Portland Timbers 2. And for New Mexico, they're sharing the ball, but it just happens to be 2 guys who are doing the bulk of the scoring.
13 assists on 16 goals scored. Are you kidding me? That is an astounding stat. Like, that does not happen for any team. So the wealth has been spread around, which is quite nice. And to be fair, the distribution on both sides of the field has been better. Yes, Santi Moar is the big name that comes out. Kevon Frater up top, he is starting to find his form that he did not get in Phoenix in 2018. The counterbalance of what has been Manny Padilla and Josh Suggs has really allowed this team to explore the final third. Troy Lesane will look to them again regularly if they're going to be T2.
Well, New Mexico United, yet another expansion side, especially this 2019 season, is just littered with them. And if you look at history, I mean, Devin, you and I were having this conversation. For some of these sides, it may not be necessarily a success if they get to the first round, especially with New Mexico United. If they don't get past the first round, especially with the way things are going, is it still a success?
No, it's not. They need to go above and beyond, and they want to break the trend of what it's been. Take a look from 11 to 15. Everybody not only progressed into the playoffs, but they made a run. All the way back in 2014, Sacramento Republic under Preki, they won the entire thing. But since Bethlehem missed in 2016, no one has been able to get out of the first round. New Mexico United, the Lab, everybody looks to change that this year.
Well, it's 2 of the best sides in the Western Conference. It may be April 26th, but boy, this is a good one. Santi Moar and New Mexico United taking on a Portland Timbers 2 side that just continues to look magnificent at the start of 2019. It's a Western Conference duel between New Mexico and T2 when we come back.
Hey, where's Roush and Justin?
I don't know, bro.
Yo, this is crazy. Y'all gotta come check this out. Come on, come on.
Almost set for kickoff here at the Lab, as two of the best sides in the Western Conference have 90 minutes ahead of them. That should be a thrill to watch. Tyler Terrens along with the former German pro Devin Kerr. We'll take a look at the starting lineups, which are brought to you by Michelob Ultra, and we'll start with Troy Lesesne's group. Devin, I mean, we expect to see Frater and Weehan at this point. You have Santi Moore out in the left, joining up with Josh Seggs on the left-hand side, which just look like world beaters at the moment. However, one change in there, Akamatsu's going to get the start at the right wing.
Akamatsu on the right wing for Estrada, and how about Sam Hamilton? Slides into that other center back position next to Justin Schmidt. Thought the back four had pretty much been set up for Troy Lesesne and his boys, but not the case. Opts to switch it up a little bit. Chris Weehan looks to be the glue that in that false 9, 10 type position with Frater up top. Continue to find Frater, continue to find form. That has been the key to success. Keep an eye on Josh Suggs on the left.
Meanwhile, on the other side for Portland Timbers, too, we were told one thing, Devin, you think it might look completely different than what's showing up here right now.
Cameron Knowles told me midweek that you could see a different idea play out on the pitch. I don't buy it. Free back system, we've never seen that from them before. However, if they were going to do it in one game to remain compact, this would be it. Number 32 on the left side, Marco Farfan. What he can do is he can tuck in on the left. It allows them to rotate into a back four. Nathan Smith goes to the right. They go flat four in the middle. So a bit of flexibility there.
New Mexico United in their Meow Wolf home kits. Meanwhile, Portland Timbers, too, in their all-whites. This is a New Mexico United side that is coming off their first loss in franchise history. And, Devin, it's always interesting to see from a human nature standpoint how a group is going to respond after their first loss of the season and take it even a step further. First loss in club history. Troy Lesesne said, listen, it's just been the same exact process that we go through. We always evaluate after each and every game. This one just happens to be after a loss. Meanwhile, for Portland Timbers, too, on the other side, it was a 2-2 draw against Colorado Springs. They're able to pick up a point. Both teams dropping point in their last games. However, they're looking to get all three here on a massive Friday night matchup between two of the top 3 teams in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. As it looks like Alejandro Aguilera is ready to go. The crowd here at the Lab in Isotopes Park has been ready to go for what I believe to be hours, as we are not officially underway. I hate when they do that.
Just let them play.
Now we're officially underway. New Mexico United and Portland Timbers 2. Friday Night Lights in the USL Championship. Kevon Frater, an early touch. 4 goals on the season thus far. Juan Pablo Guzman takes a bit of a stumble. And it will be a foul in favor of New Mexico United. And Devin, to your point about the Portland Timbers 2 lineup, you can already see that it's a 4-back system, and you were spot on, and you were spot on in not trusting Cameron Knowles and what he told you.
He's going to hate me for that one. But to be fair, it does give them the flexibility if they wanted to push in. Again, Marco Farfan would have to play a higher line. That's not something we traditionally see out of the Timbers organization. They sit with the flat 4, and yeah, the outside backs get up and down the pitch, but not in that manner. It's not going to be Jadama, Dispe, and Smith holding tight in the middle with Farfan and Ojeda on the right. So going with the flat 4 and 4 in the middle. Expect Williamson to sit right underneath Langsdorff. Eric Williamson has been fantastic in that 10 position. Someone who the Timbers drafted in 2018 and spent a lot of time on the bench, but only the 1 appearance for the Portland Timbers, and with his Open Cup appearance at that. So still trying to break his way through. He's made a good name for himself at T2 this year.
Here is Santi Moar. This is what he loves to do, and this is why he has thrived at the beginning of 2019. Good ball in, Weehan on the turn. Chris Weehan blazes it over the bar. Scintillating play from New Mexico in the opening 90 seconds.
Somehow our referee has given a corner on this as well, and Adrian Dispe is not going to get enough credit for what he does here. Weehan has a fantastic turn on him. Watch Dispe's arm. Grabs his shoulder, pulls him back just a bit. That was enough to pull the attacker back, throw him off balance, push it up over the bar.
First corner of the night. Chris Weehan slowly but surely starting to settle in with this New Mexico United side. Battled an injury at the beginning of the season. Now really starting to come into form. Troy Lesesne thought he was the best player on the field against the Monarchs in their 5-1 thrashing. As that one handled by the T2 back line. Only as far as Muhammad. Santi Moore with a positive first touch, and coming over to clean it up is Dispe. Akamatsu, good ball in. Kevon Frater will take it down. Frater takes the shot, takes a deflection. And Jake Leaker able to gobble it up. And tonight's keys to the match are brought to you by Garcia Automotive Group. Tonight's keys to the match for New Mexico United are Mr. Devin Kerr.
Organization for sure. You see the press. That's important. As you step forward, it can't be 3-4 guys. You have to stay an entire unit. That's probably the one area Troy Lesesne told us that in the counterattacking option, they got exposed.
New Mexico United almost exposed there, as it was a good effort coming on the other end from Brian Hurtado, the 19-year-old from Venezuela.
I asked Troy Lesesne midweek, what did he think their biggest weakness was, and it was that press. It was their ability to play the high line and get other teams to turn it over, but unfortunately, it wasn't always a cohesive unit. So you'd see the likes of front 3, 4, 5 sometimes really doing the hard work, but if it's that one outlet pass that gets in behind, leaves the middle and the wings exposed if everybody doesn't push together.
Muhammad gets a touch to it. Juan Pablo Guzman finding Akamatsu out wide. And now Manny Padilla looking to find Chris Wehan. And Devin, to your point, it really is a catch-22, and it makes you appreciate some of the best teams from around the world who have mastered that press, but also seem to be stout along the back line as well, and they're able to find that balance. And for Troy Lesesne's group, still trying to exactly figure out how they can be as successful as possible with that high line. And I hate to, but love to at the same point. But Liverpool is a great example of a side that obviously have mastered the press and exposing themselves, but having the best center back in the world in Virgil van Dijk certainly doesn't hurt. As Kevon Frater trying to slide one through for Wehan, but good posture from T2, as this one has a very open and fast rhythm to it in the opening 5 minutes.
You can look at another Red Army, a bit more domestic, and within this league, and Red Bull too. They're a team that have had more success than anyone doing it, but even they get exposed. You see it where they can push through. They'll pump 5-6 goals in the back of your net.
They might give up 3.
They might give up 3 or 4. So that's something that John Wolyniak has been very open and honest about. And now you're seeing it starting to funnel into the Western Conference, where teams on a regular basis can find it. Troy Lesesne's boys, I was quite vocal about this. First few games, they let a lot of opportunities slip through their fingers, where they had teams on the ropes and they couldn't finish them off. The likes of Orange County, the likes of Phoenix. That's been a tale of a different tape recently. They've gone on the road, they've gotten some good results. But, I mean, Tacoma Defiance, 2-1 victory, it's good. It's not great. You need to do better than that. You need to put in a thrashing home or away on the youngsters like that. 0-0 at HEB Park against RGV, that's a great result no matter what anybody tells you. It's one of the most difficult places to play. Now you've had some very frustrating times go in last week versus Reno, and Lesesne said, look, they were just a better team. They outplayed us, but we came together as a unit. Let's go get it done.
Santi Moar trying to get it done. Was he taken down? Referee not interested whatsoever. Justin Schmidt with the header. Kevon Frater coming away with it. He had it poked away from behind by Renzo Zambrano, the captain out of Venezuela. And it'll go all the way back for the saves leader in the United Soccer League Championship in Cody Mizell. And that statistical leader is usually reserved for a side that is buried towards the bottom of the barrel in their respective conference. But because of how offensive yet how exposed New Mexico has been, Cody Mizell has seen a lot of shots. As this one will run out of play.
Seen a lot of shots, leading the league in saves. It's funny, I said that to Troy Lesesne. I said, you know, normally when your goalkeeper is head of that category, that doesn't bode very well for your squad. I mean, I've seen it so many times from Tulsa and Tacoma Defiance, but that's not the case. But that goes back to the back line. Their back line has been quality. It's just, can they get the entire 11 on the same page? It's been better recently, but the stretches they're going to have to take against these big squads have to be better.
It's a slip in the infield from Portland Timbers too. Chris Wehan leading the charge, out for Santi Moar. Thrashes it across. Akamatsu, and it's saved by Leaker. It's not an easy surface to get your footing on.
Speaking of back lines, where's T2's? I mean, this sails right across the box. There's the trailing run of Todd Wharton. Marco Farfan out of position a bit in transitional play. Jadama wandering, that's their other center back, and just leaves Jake Leaker out to dry.
Here's Zambrano, very dangerous with the ball at his feet. Pushes it out wide, it's past Padilla. Good looking service in, awkward for New Mexico United, and somehow Sam Hamilton comes away with it and a calming presence out of the back for Troy Lessane's group. And New Mexico United will go quickly from the restart. Josh Suggs.
Keep an eye on the movement from Josh Suggs. That was something that I was very impressed with. It's not your traditional overlapping run from the outside back. He has toys to play with this year. His role much different than what we saw under Steve Tritchu at Colorado Springs. He can explore a bit more, likes to tuck in, and then come back outside.
Eric Williamson showing great strength there. And now T2 are off and running. Foster Langsdorff tripped up. And it will be a free kick for the visitors, much to the dismay of the crowd here at the lab. Devin, you were motioning for a card.
They're lucky they get away with one here, because he is going to goal. Nice cut back across. Had the trailing runner on the right to lay it in if he wanted to. Dangerous territory here for Cody Mizell. The lab wasn't happy, but it's the right decision. Ojeda standing over the ball. Eric Williamson, he has been the bright light. 5 assists on the year, and he's done it in a multitude of ways. He would love to get on the score sheet and find the back of the net.
Standing over it with him is Christian Ojeda, 20-year-old from Argentina, but it looks like it will be Williamson. Rather Ojeda, and it's over the bar. Muhammad stumbles, able to recover. Clever from Justin Schmidt to get it over the top of Williamson. Juan Pablo Guzman now. It's a hospital ball. T2 come away with it. Zambrano back for Williamson, and a great challenge from Sam Hamilton. Well, Troy Lessane, a Mike Jeffries disciple, of course, is going to want to keep the ball and play out of the back and try to build up rather than being a bit more direct. And sometimes that's the trouble if the passes aren't crisp and clean in your own defensive third. Mike Jeffries, of course, now the general manager for the Charlotte Independents, was the head coach for a number of years. Frater off the layoff from Weehan. Bit too much from the Jamaican. A lot of room to play between these two sides. Goes in for Langsdorff. Picked up by Suggs. Good little matchup there. Smith cuts it back. Here's Todd Wharton. He lets it fly from distance. It did take a deflection. And a corner kick coming up for Cameron Knowles' side.
Some interesting movement from New Mexico United in the middle, and there's a good call from Manny Padilla telling his boys to settle down. Juan Pablo Guzman drifting back a bit further. Salim Muhammad not recognizing the threats that are coming through the middle, and it's making Chris Weehan drop even deeper. That's going to be difficult for them in the counter if they can't pick that up.
Cody Mizell organizing at the back for New Mexico United. Frater and Padilla will stay home. It's man-to-man otherwise. And we'll do that one more time.
Still weird for me to see Todd Wharton in a Timbers 2
Yeah,
jersey.
yep.
Very weird. Great kid, great player.
Just different.
Just very, very different. It's not that burnt orange from RGV. They're doing battle tonight, aren't they?
You tell me.
I believe so.
All right. Whatever you want. Corner kick comes in. It's not a bad ball. Dispay was trying to tee it up, but a bit over his head. Nathan Smith sends it back in, not a back across, and Kevon Frater was there. And T2 with some sustained pressure against the home side. Tell you who is doing battle right now. San Antonio FC. 3-0 lead over the Tacoma Defiance as they're wrapping up what's been a woeful road trip.
That's right, RGV's not playing. They were in the 4-4 barn burner.
How could you forget?
Oh, 7 goals
greatest 15 minutes of football ever.
I said, we were talking to another analyst, and he was like, oh, how was the game? I go, let me put it to you this way. There was 5 minutes of added time. The 4th goal hit the back of the net at 95:02. That's just drop your head, get off the pitch, go home.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been a leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Not a bad ball ahead. It's awkward for Leaker. Akamatsu was putting the pressure on. And Juan Pablo Guzman will go quickly. Suggs. That's an outside back lingering in the middle of the park. Moar. I believe he was trying to pick out Kevon Frater, who ended up curling inside.
To your point, Tyler, Josh Suggs, Troy Lesesne telling us about him that, to be fair, he felt underutilized, felt like he wasn't that Captain America role that he had under Steve Tritchu in Colorado Springs. He leads the team in chances created. The kid is everywhere. And I said at the beginning of the year, I think it's been great for him because when you look at what he's been able to do to get down the pitch, yeah, maybe he's not necessarily involved in the run of play as much, but the balls that he's playing through and the events that are leading up to the balls that he's playing are much more meaningful than what we saw over the previous few years.
Good first touch from Weehan. Justin Schmidt will go all the way back. Somebody that Troy Lesesne believes deserves a lot more credit than he may or may not be receiving. And that topic came up when we were specifically talking about Rashid Tete, who actually is not an 18 tonight for New Mexico United, but the center back pairing that him and Justin Schmidt have started to develop, give a lot of that credit to Justin Schmidt because of the calming presence that he brings. But Sam Hamilton, also not a bad center back to have along that back line. And that was also another issue that you were bringing up, Devin, at the beginning of the season after we did the Phoenix and the Orange County games, was that depth was a bit of an issue for Troy Lesesne. And now they're starting to get everybody healthy and starting to plug and play. It looks a lot better, and especially if you're going to make a possible U.S. Open Cup run, although they drew Phoenix in the first round, which should be, in the second round, which should be a fantastic matchup, considering the first game that they played against each other, which finished in a 3-3 draw.
It's also been an evolution offensively. It's much different than what we saw in the Phoenix and Fresno games, and that's not saying that better or worse. It's saying that the back line is different, the middle is different. Their ability to get numbers forward isn't just directness. It's not a ball into Santi, a ball up top, one hold, down into the flank, and see what you can do. It's Josh Suggs stepping into the middle, and then the outside back of Justin Schmidt rotating over as a center back. Juan Pablo Guzman, just a second ago, you had Justin Schmidt on the left, Sam Hamilton in the middle, Manny Padilla and Josh Suggs were nowhere to be found because they have the ability for everybody to interchange and understand what role they are playing. You're also playing with fire a bit when steam starts to press you. So if T2 starts to figure out the movements that they're making, that can bode well for them.
Now, free kick coming up for T2. New Mexico United not happy about it, feeling that it was a bit soft, but the whistle was blown. Justin Schmidt's conversation with our head referee Alejandro Aguilera to no avail. There was a hate on it last time, but now it's on the left-hand side. Figure that it would be a right-footed player if it is going to be on frame. About 28 3/4 of a yards out, give or take.
You're spot on. You're doing well tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's Williamson. It's not a bad effort, and it just skirts wide. Tony Mizell wanted to go quickly, but now thinks better of it. 21-year-old from Alexandria, Virginia, with a fizzing effort.
So many talented dead ball strikers on this team. Tries to go near post. Darn near gets there, doesn't he? Watch this thing dip right at the end in front of Cody. Oh, catches the outside of the post. That would have been a close one. If he gets it inside, does Miguel get to it? That's a tough one to tell.
And T2 almost able to capitalize off a really bad mistake from New Mexico United. Ryan Hurtado in the middle of it. And this Portland Timbers 2 team, I mean, Cameron Knowles, you talk about the turnaround job that he's been able to accomplish with this group. I mean, they go from the bottom of the barrel in the Western Conference in 2017. I mean, this team could not buy a point if they were on sale at Target. And then they turn it around and have a playoff contending season in 2018. They take down Phoenix in the regular season finale, then turn around and have to play them in the first round of the playoffs, earning themselves a 6th seed. It's unbelievable what he's been able to do.
It's interesting the path that he's taken to get here as well. Remember, this guy was one of the assistants under Caleb Porter in that organization in Portland Timbers until he departed. They bring in a new regime, Giovanni Savarese. A lot of times, coaches like to clean house. They bring in their own talent. Savarese said, you know what? I like this guy. I want to keep him on staff. He did that with a lot of the guys, so he pushed them into the 2 team. But they have been very, very different, pumping some serious talent up. Specifically, I asked him, I said, listen, guys that are getting regular reps from you, who's ready for the next level? He said, without a hesitation, Marvin Loria. He said if it wasn't for a preseason injury towards the end of it, he was cruising. He would have easily been getting reps for the Timbers already. Unfortunately, he's had to make his way back. Not with us tonight. However, the kid is nice.
Decibel levels raising a bit here at Isotopes Park. 20 minutes gone here in the lab. 0-0 between 2 of the best teams in the Western Conference. Juan Pablo Guzman finding Kavan Frater, breaking a line of defensive T2. Now it's Santi Moar on the move. 1v1 with Nathan Schmidt. Moar gets it on his left foot and able to win a corner for New Mexico United. Santi Moar, 7 goals on the season, tied with Luca Lobo from Tulsa Roughnecks for the Golden Boot lead. Again, it is just April 26th. But the start that Santi Moar has had cannot be understated. Wins Player of the Month in March, and then what does he do? Follows it up with a hat trick in the first half against the Real Monarchs, and gets Player of the Week. Won by T2. Muhammad racing to get there. Hurtado in the neighborhood. Great sliding challenge from Muhammad. He wins it, delivers it. Suggs. It's good skill just to get it off.
Gets away with one though. Sticks a boot right in the attacker's face. Defender trying to come out.
That's clean.
I don't know what they taught you up there in Jersey. We got to have a serious conversation after this game.
That's the problem. They don't teach you anything in Jersey. They just say, go play.
I'd be the first one to step in and say, no, that's clean. You, on the other hand. T2 struggling a bit here on the road, but that was to be expected. Isotopes Park, very difficult place to play, as we have found out early on in 2019.
Moar on the turn. Puts it out wide for Weehan. Frater's in the box, but it's just him. Now it's Guzman. Frater was way offside. Juan Pablo Guzman making amends, but Frater's still offside. Fans, follow New Mexico United, Portland Timbers 2, and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Muhammad puts in a bone-crunching tackle. Frater, Akamatsu to his right. Tries to get it over there, might fall for Moar. And it's a foul on the Spaniard.
Santi Moar having a few words with him too. Not happy with the referee, it looks like. Frater plays this in one time. They've got the back post wide open, all alone to do whatever they like. That's the difference we've seen from New Mexico United, though. It's not just one chance, it's wave after wave of attack, constantly pressing, trying to find that second and third ball.
Smith brings it down, picked up by Suggs. Todd Wharton got out a 60 degree, needed more of a 4 or 5 iron. Todd Wharton, of course, coming over from RGV, as Devin alluded to earlier, 25 years old, from Richmond, Virginia, national champion with the University of Virginia during his time there from 2012 to 2015. Actually played for the Timbers U23s. Came up to the Richmond Strikers Youth Academy. And very solid in the middle of the field.
Quite a few of those Virginia Cavaliers made their way into that RGV Houston Dynamo organization. Manny Padilla for New Mexico United knows all about that. Eric Bird in there as well.
The Birdman.
Yeah, the Birdman in his ponytail. He finally cut it. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
T2 threatening until the delivery, and Suggs can see it out of play.
For Todd Wharton, it gives him the opportunity, with all due respect to RGV, to have a bit more talent around him. Some quality coaching in Cameron Knowles, and these guys are just nurtured a bit more. Again, different style than you see under RGV, and everything that they've done for the Houston Dynamo. And those two, one being an affiliate. But Todd Wharton just has the ability to play a bit more of a holding midfielder role. He really had to throw the team on his back the past few years and kind of do a bunch on his own. Doesn't have to fulfill the same role here.
Through the legs of Suggs, but he's scrambling to recover. And T2 will recycle. There's Jadama. Dispay trying to switch the point of attack. And Manny Padilla wisely sees it out of play.
Fans are a little quiet. Let's see if we can get this place hopping again.
Justin Schmidt entry into Weehan. He gets it away. Referee says play on. Kavan Frater definitely wants it on his left, gets it on his right. Out for Akamatsu. Akamatsu going for the curler, nothing in it. And there might be some retroactive discipline for that challenge. Credit to Weehan, who's stuck in there the entire way.
Funny how on the challenge, when it happens, they go the other way. You see a 2-on-2 by the time he releases the ball. They've already got 6 men behind the ball. They have to do a better job in their decision-making ability. Akamatsu getting the nod on the right. David Estrada just had a resurgence to his career after coming over from Tacoma Defiance. We talked about that balance on the left and the right on the defensive side, and cannot understate what's going on in the middle of the field with Santi Moar and David Estrada.
Great little touch from Suggs. Nathan Smith beats him to it. And then Moar and Smith jawing a little bit. Nothing malicious in it from Moar. Now Nathan Schmidt initiating the physical contact. Captain Suggs coming to the rescue and defending his Spaniard brethren.
He's got a look, huh? That's just
mean mugging.
Oh, that's the best friend at a bar with you. Yeah, you want to be friends with this guy. Keep an eye. Comes back around, and yeah, Suggs gives him a little love tap. Nathan Schmidt didn't like how it was repaid by Santi Mara. Santi Mara felt like, hey, man, that wasn't me.
But then it was Schmidt coming up after the fact and getting in his face. Suggs wanting an option. A bit too far for Moar. And we asked Troy Lesane about how Santi has sort of been handling all of these accolades and all the attention he's been getting, and he said, listen, Santi is not a guy who wants the spotlight anywhere outside of the 90 minutes and on the field, and he's been incredibly humble about the entire thing. And when they announce when he gets Player of the Week, Player of the Month, he almost shies away from it and doesn't want anything to do with it. The whole team will give him a round of applause, and Santi's like, guys, listen, it's a team game, and all of us deserve this award. It's not just me, and that's just great to hear that he's been so humble and what's been a pretty dynamic start for a guy that maybe didn't get all the attention he deserved when he was at Bethlehem Steel. You and I covered him a bunch, and we knew what he was capable of, as did Troy Lesane. I mean, it goes all the way back to the days of the Charlotte Eagles when Troy Lesane first saw Santi Mara when he was playing for Pfeiffer University, coming over as an undergrad and playing with the Charlotte Eagles and saying that he was keeping up with them even when he was 19, 20 years old and knew from day one what he was capable of.
Just keep an eye on his footwork. If you want a little homework project during this game, just watch his feet. His shoulders, his positioning, everything is so perfect.
Mexico United might pay for this mistake at the back. Langsdorff towards the back post. Good ball. First time effort from Todd Wharton as well wide. Almost a bit too casual from the former Virginia Cavalier.
We'll get back to Santi Mara in a second. Todd Wharton has to do better in this situation. Great job by T2 on the step. And it is New Mexico's fault that they've turned it over in the middle of the field. They have to track back, and as it makes its way to the left side, the floated ball to the back post is exactly the way that it needs to be. That's Foster Langsdorff tracking back from the 9 spot all the way back. Put this on your laces, put it on net. You lean back, that's just a confidence thing. That's a guy who's been sitting in the middle of the field, not used to scoring a lot of goals, playing a bit more of a supporting role here. Again, he was in the limelight at RGV. When you step up in situations like that, you got to finish.
You would have taken that one with your laces?
Absolutely.
As opposed to your instep?
I probably would have put it 30 rows behind that one. But
yeah. That's not what I asked.
I put this in my laces because with my foot open, that tends your body to open up a little bit and actually lean back a bit more than you want to. If you put this on your laces on your right foot, your initial movement is to come across your body. So your momentum is already going to bring you down over the ball. I want to put it on the 8x8. Yeah, I want to hit the back of the net, but worst case scenario, I at least want to put it on frame. If it's that close of a proximity, Cody Mizell at best is going to get a hand on it, and you have packed your personnel into that box, give your second and third opportunity.
It's interesting. We'll come back to that because I do want to continue to wrap my head around the technical nuances that Todd Wharton may or may not have displayed on that attempt. Meanwhile, New Mexico United, decent opportunity here. It'll definitely be delivery. Although Suggs does not strike a bad ball. Just ask Reno. It is delivery, back post. The header comes across. Leaker got a touch to it, and Foster Langsdorff just puts it over the bar to safety. Really well done from Justin Schmidt at the back post, and now a corner coming up for the home side.
Difficult to take for Justin Schmidt. If the ball is actually a yard shy, he can put it on frame, but he does a good job to get on the opposite end of it, put it back across the 6. Leaker did well to recover.
It's a packed lab. And they want the opener. 33rd minute. They might get it here from the corner. Weehan. It's an on-rushing header. That was straight for the training ground. It was an interesting one. Can't say that I've truly ever seen something like that before, but first time for everything. I don't know what was supposed to happen after that.
We've seen stuff like that before where they knock a diagonal ball, someone brings it down, then whip it back in, but a header from about 30 yards out. I mean, Schmidt's good in the air, but...
Is he going to playoff beard already? In April?
He's been listening to our podcast.
Poor soul. Muhammad with a good challenge. He is just Mr. Disruptive in the middle of the park, isn't he? Sam Hamilton, meanwhile, going on the other end. Kevon Frater with a wild challenge. He should get a yellow for that. And it is going to be mustard for the Jamaican. And the Seitel yellow card was issued to Kevon Frater in the 35th minute.
This is the right decision. Not the first time we've seen Frater have the whistle blown on him in this match. Watch as he tracks back here, comes up over the top. And leads with the shoulder, leads with the body. Not going to win the referee over, especially when he's only 10 yards from you. His hair's getting long, huh, Frater? A bit longer than we've seen in the past. Not as long as my hair was, but, you know.
Well, that was just dirty.
I always wanted to dreads. I really wanted
to.
I did.
I know you did, but just stop. I was looking at a picture of Kevon Frater. It wasn't even that long ago. It was back when he was playing in Jamaica. I mean, he's put on some muscle.
He's a big boy.
Big boy.
He is all muscle. You and I had the opportunity to see him in person last year, and when he was in Phoenix, and just staying after training, pounding ball after ball on Freeman.
With who?
Didier Drogba, the man, the myth himself. But with him, it's, you saw him with his shirt off. He doesn't place a ball usually. Everything is
laces,
with laces and precision, and he hits it hard.
And his Jamaican compatriot, Kevon Lambert at Phoenix, was the same way. Kevon a bit more graceful when it comes to finishing than Kevon. Kevon, if you're watching, listen, it is what it is.
Kevon and Kevon.
Kevon.
Yeah.
Devon.
This is not good for Cameron Knowles. That just 10 minutes shy of the first half going to ground. Center back Adrian Dispay finally making his way to his feet after being down on the ground for almost about 3 minutes or so. Very tentative in his efforts.
And he immediately called over for medical attention as soon as Frater went into the challenge. And he is in some serious pain. 25-year-old from Havana, Cuba, in his second season with T2. Has an assist on the year. Actually had 13 caps with the Cuban national team before coming over to the United States. And he is Mr. Reliable at the back for Cameron Knowles. And Devin, as you mentioned it, that's a problem. Not only from a tactical and personnel standpoint, but just for the health and well-being of Adrian Dispay, who's an absolute warrior and has a tough time just getting off the field.
The only move he really has is Max Ornstill. I mean, that's, when you look at his bench and who's sitting back there right now, if you want to go like for like, you have number 48, Max Ornstill. Otherwise, it's pretty much offensive. Harold Hansen can play right back, and I don't really think that they want to bring in Nathan Smith to the interior of the field. So there you go. There's the move. I mean, it's the only move he has if he's going to bring Dispay off the pitch, which is the last thing that he wants to do. But Cameron Knowles almost immediately turned to Andrew Greger, his assistant, and said, okay, what moves do we have in the bag? That seems to be the only one. Max Ornstill, the Californian's going to have to get up to speed real quick. Just 8 minutes here to go in the first half, and a lot of work to be done on the road.
So Ornstill for Dispay due to injury in the 38th minute. All substitutions are brought to you by RADW, CPA, and advisors. There's no substitution for Integrity.
Most likely you'll see Modu Jadama slide over next to Nathan Smith now as Ornstill traditionally tucks in on the left.
Meanwhile, Foster Langsdorff is having to do an entire wardrobe change. He's got the headband on now, trying to stop the bleeding. Putting on a new number as well, it looks like, or at least new shorts. It's every broadcaster's dream, right?
At least you can see the numbers.
Are you referring to a certain team?
Oh, I love the jerseys. The glow jerseys from Tampa Bay Rowdies, but you can't see anything. I mean, it is impossible. Fortunately enough, we have no lives, and all we do is call these games and see the boys on a regular basis, so we know who they all are. But in that brief moment where you need a number, no thank you, not happening.
Here's Weehan, nipped at from behind by Zambrano. What was a great rhythm of this game was halted due to the Dispay injury. Now starting to reestablish it. So just for you all's sake at home, Foster Langsdorff will now be number 67 on the night, converting from number 28. Doesn't look bad on him, the headband. Nakamatsu cuts that one out. Now 5 minutes remaining plus stoppage time until we reach halftime. Kevon Frater, good ball forward. Akamatsu dealing with Farfan. Frater tried to cut it back on his right. It's not a bad idea. Akamatsu again. Padilla running with him. Akamatsu going for the curler, and it's the same result as the last time he tried to pull that one off. Starting to grow a bit frustrated is the 23-year-old from Japan who played his college ball at the University of Denver.
His form is terrible on both of those shots, too. Just leaning over, leaning back, got to get the knee over top of the ball. Tons of shots here, but Jake Leaker hasn't really had a boatload to do tonight. If I'm Troy Lesane, I'm going right at Max Ornstill. The center back that just came on since Adrian Dispay went out.
Ball forward in the space for Suggs, and that is awesome from Ornstill. Oh, he's going to get a card for that.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Upon initial review, first off, this is his first foul.
First involvement in the game.
Yeah. They came on. And when he tracks over, he goes to ground. This looked like he got the ball and then took Suggs to ground. Now, he had a trailing leg in there that helped bring Josh down a bit harder than maybe he wanted to. But you get a better look. One over. Now, the speed is there. First slide, he gets the ball. Suggs actually takes a touch around him and hits his foot and goes out.
I don't even know if that's a foul.
That's not a foul whatsoever. Referee gets this one wrong. Ornstill is right, gives him the Mutombo. Josh Suggs steps in here. Great angle for Santi Moar. Look at that. This wall is misplaced. It has to slide over. Jake Leaker has not set this up right. A lot of space to work with.
Suggs curls one in. A mean deflection, and it's coming out the other way. It was a foul, but the Seitel yellow card issued to Max Ornstill just a few moments ago. And Justin Schmidt the culprit, and he just seems to be option 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on every set piece for New Mexico United.
I have to wonder why Santi didn't call him off of that ball. Only a two-man wall. A bit further to our left, goalkeeper's right. Look at that. I mean, there's just a load of space there for the Spaniard to have a go. Still not a bad idea from Josh Suggs. Just thought maybe they'd go a bit more direct.
Moar quickly for Josh Suggs. Not handled cleanly by T2, only as far as Akamatsu. United is the chant here at the lab. Sam Hamilton. In for Akamatsu, out wide now, Padilla. It's a similar build-up to what was a header goal for Santi Moar against Orange County, where Padilla hit it on the first time. And T2 will be able to take a deep sigh of relief. And for Cameron Knowles, you just want to get into halftime and just sort of regroup, regather your thoughts and tactical ideas moving forward. The Dispay substitution, and now Max Ornstill yellow card certainly throws a wrench into the plans for Cameron Knowles. Moar showing good strength, pushes it out wide, space for Akamatsu to play. Delivery, not a bad one. Jadama gets a touch to it. Weehan keeps it alive. Back out for Padilla. Padilla's delivery, Weehan a first time to it. And it just skips wide. Muhammad breaks it up, Frater can't keep it in play.
The clock has passed 45 minutes and official time is being kept on the field. The center referee has added a minimum
4 minutes of stoppage time, and stoppage time is brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. We're in the orange zone now. Frater through for Moar. Santi cuts it back. Still Moar. A deflection. No handball. Now it's Padilla delivering. Jadama the header to it. Juan Pablo Guzman. And Leaker will just spill it. Santi Moar knows that he missed an opportunity just a few moments ago. Nathan Smith after the Santi Moar chance. Ojeda. Numbers in the box for T2. Smith thought about the early delivery. Goes back for the captain, Zambrano. Trying to turn Juan Pablo Guzman and runs out of real estate.
Nice step by Juan Pablo, even though doesn't get a tackle in. Just makes Zambrano think twice about it. Ends up going out, and that's the little things that you get when you do employ the press here and there, even if it's a one-man game at times. Cameron Knowles trying to figure out where the placement of the throw was. Right in front of the fourth official, not exactly happy.
Weehan taken down, no call, will play on. Again, Suggs getting all the way forward. Jadama defending and doing brilliantly and holding on to the ball. Gets it away, but only as far as Santi Moar, who's filled in at that left back position for Suggs. Look how many numbers are forward for Troy Lessane's group. If T2 were to win it in a situation like this, it would be all systems go on the other end. Hamilton clips one in. Kept in play by Hurtado, or was it? And that's the scary part if you're Troy Lessane. I mean, it's 10 players on the other side of midfield.
To be fair, they're more dangerous when there's only 4 or 5. I agree with you. I mean, it's great that they've got a higher line and a higher positioning, but it does show you T2 have a different look to them. They're more than willing to sit back a bit more and withstand this pressure. I'd actually like to see the press when they're just inside their own half. I mean, we talked about the positioning where Josh Suggs is roaming a bit on the offensive side of things. Manny Padilla playing very wide on the right side, and Guzman tucking back. So your distributors coming out of the back have become Justin Schmidt and Sam Hamilton. If I'm T2, I'm pressing them. I want the ball at their feet because I want to go after those guys.
Well, 0-0 between two of the best teams in the Western Conference and two of the highest powered offenses west of the Mississippi. No goals for either team. That means no goals for Santimar or Foster Langsdorff, who is now sporting number 67 as opposed to number 28. Devin, your thoughts on the first half?
It's probably the way you felt like it was going to go. The home team having the better run initially. T2 started to counterpunch right around the 25-minute mark, and then it became choppy, especially with the injury. They'll be happy to regroup at halftime, but New Mexico United looking for the balance. They haven't had that. We'll talk a bit more on the break, and T2 just need to find a way offensively to pick and choose your spots. You're not going to get a bunch, so when the ball does drop to the likes of Zambrano and Langsdorff, got to finish it off.
Opportunity for both Troy Lessane and Cameron Knowles to address their sides in what was an entertaining yet scoreless first half. Half chances, I would say, for both sides, but nothing's found the back of the net yet. We're headed to halftime here at the Lab, 0-0 between New Mexico United and Portland Timbers 2. Don't go anywhere. Halftime score brought to you by Taco Cabana. Unfortunately, there is no score. 0-0 between New Mexico United and Portland Timbers 2. Tyler Terrens, along with the ex-German pro Devin Kerr, as the fans here at the Lab enjoying some hot dogs, some nachos. I'm hungry.
Nachos.
All
Chicken.
Day. Chicken. You're ridiculous. That's not a giant drum of beer, is it?
It is in my mind.
Look at how some of the expansion sides have done in years past. You take a look at New Mexico United, what they've been able to accomplish through these first 7 games. I mean, pretty impressive if you think that New Mexico United is, I guess, the worst team on this list from a point standpoint.
from a point standpoint. Yeah, but look the way things broke down. Again, we talked about it in the open, exactly how everybody else fared. Some successes here and there since 2016. Hasn't really been much to write home about. 2014 Sacramento Republic. Champions.
Who is the coach?
Preki. God love him.
Where is he?
Who cares?
Oh, no.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Nice guy. Nice guy, Preki. Hope all is well. New Mexico United, I honestly, truly believe this. If they do not get out of the first round, it is not a success for them. They've got too much talent, and when you look at the way that they're playing now and what they're capable of, they will continue to grow, get better, have to get better than a first-round performance.
It's April 26th. Settle down.
It's an opinion. It's not a hot take.
Listen, it's 2019.
Everything's
a hot take. Speaking of hot takes, we got some news, notes, and a whole other bunch of stuff from the USL Championship coming right up, as well as a look at last week. Flemings around 1, around 2. Still Junior Flemings. He's going to have a go. Excellent from Junior Flemings. Here's Spees looking for the curler, and what a save from Curtis Anderson. Guadarrama wants it himself. What a goal from Guadarrama.
The cross deflected. What a stop by Brown in the top corner. Another chance here for New Mexico, and they've got the equalizer.
Adama will strike it with his right foot. Whistle blows. Steps. Strikes. And saved by Rodriguez.
Here's Woodbine into the box. Van Schaik there. Van Schaik!
Van Schaik's on for Louisville. And again, Callum Irving grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck as Ben Spees lets one fly and drills it like a Langsdorff header.
That's where Louisville wants to attack. Shooting and scoring.
It's saved by Caldwell. Collier. Yes!
Knock back towards Spencer. Brilliant finish.
The flick. Could it be 2? Yes, it is. That's Hellman.
Here's Banks. Banks from distance, and that's knocked away.
Gallardo. At the top of the box. Lee gets a touch, still driving and sends it. And into the back of the net.
It's like Joe Gallardo took almost on the entire defense there. And that left for the shot.
Chipped in, headed away by Lockby. Second chance coming, diving, stopped by Fitzgerald.
Minnesota and with Jacksonville. Nunez, and that finds the side of the net. Most of these, he takes this one.
Great stuff again for the USL Championship in week number 7, week number 8, well underway. However, we're still waiting for the scoring to get underway here at the lab. Dare I say these two teams are trying to cook something up in the dressing room for the second half, Devin Kerr?
Really?
Listen.
That's what you're going with?
That's all I got.
It's going to be a long night, buddy.
That's all I
We got to figure things out.
News and notes from around the USL Championship. Indy 11 for the first time this season. Number 1 in John Arlia's power rankings. Quickly, agree or disagree? I don't want any explanation.
Agree. Keep going.
Okay. Insurance policy. Hartford Athletic. Colin Martin, season-long loan from Minnesota United. Great player in the middle of the field. We're going to have an opportunity to be on the call for that game against North Carolina FC tomorrow night. 7 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. And how about Mr. Johan Graf coming over from the New York Cosmos? He, of course, spent some time with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Rochester Rhinos, and now with Tim Mulqueen.
Remember, he had the game-winning goal in the Charlotte Independence Rochester Rhinos game back in 2017 playoff game.
Opening goal.
Opening goal. Sorry.
Stefan DeFreger.
DeFreger had the 2-1.
Goal.
That's right. Opening
Deflection.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
If
That's
only
why,
you
that's
would have
why
been
I'm sitting here.
Not for long with that attitude.
You okay? All right, you're good. All right. Moving on for the USL Championship. We'll take a look at some scores from around the league. And Austin Bold, wow. 3 goals? Shocking. Monarchs.
Imagine they come back again.
Oh, well, it's over.
I'm saying if they would have come back again.
They would have come
well,
back.
good to see Darren Powell's boys didn't. I mean, they put up a 3-spot.
Tacoma needed this road trip to end in the worst way possible. Worst way possible. Fresno and Orange County just kicked off a few minutes ago. And we'll take a look at the standings in the Western Conference, albeit, again, we'll say it's April 26th, but doesn't mean we can't take a look at it. As we've mentioned a number of times already through this broadcast, 2 of these teams playing right now in the top 3. Let me ask you this.
Los Dos. Who is not going to be in the playoff picture?
I was going to say who's not going to be in the top 4.
Out of the ones that are there now, Tulsa. If I had to choose
the
one.
The other 3 will be there.
I thought you were saying pick one out of the top 4.
No, I'm saying, will one of them be there, 3 of them be there, 2 of them be there?
I would be surprised if 2 weren't there.
If 2 weren't there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a guess. You think New Mexico United and Reno will be there? You're confusing yourself at this point.
No.
It's very
No. You're guessing. There's a difference.
Am I right? Don't go anywhere. Second half kickoff's coming up.
Hey, where's Roush and Justin?
I don't know, bro.
Yo, this is crazy. Y'all gotta come check this out. Come on, come on.
Almost ready for the second half here at Isotopes Park, and Devin Kerr has personally guaranteed the fans at home that there will be a goal in the second half. Haven't you, Devin?
There better be. I tell you, there better be. There's too much talent, and it's been too open right now for something not to find the back of the net.
And we'll take a look at the first half that went down here at the lab as the fans engage in some selfies, snacks, and perhaps a few adult beverages. First 45 minutes between New Mexico United and Portland Timbers 2. The pace was good. I mean, after the Austin Dispay injury, it slowed down a bit, especially getting into halftime. But there were some half chances here and there, and this was within the first 90 seconds.
Level of difficulty in this turn off the Richter scale. Chris Wehan showing us what he was capable of replicating in 2017 for Reno. He's trying to find that form again under Troy Lesane, and it's good to see him getting going early. But this ball to the back post. Akamatsu, too many strikes, too many opportunities in the first half, all on that left foot of his, none of which able to really find the frame. This is nothing for Jake Leaguer, just a little dribbler on the ground. But, you know, the home squad, they didn't back off. They continued to go. Todd Wharton tried to have a go from distance. This was never going to threaten Cody Mizell whatsoever. The set piece from Eric Williamson was probably their best opportunity of the first half. They'd had one about 3 minutes before. It gets shifted to the left side. He goes to the near post, takes a quick deflection off. Mizell, is he there? Is he not? Regardless, decent strike of the ball.
Do you bring on David Estrada soon?
Yes.
If not at halftime.
Yes, this could be him trying to get a bit of rotation. Remember, you would never know it, but he is 31 years old. He plays young. He's got a lot of legs underneath him, excellent at fitness, but he's still 31 years old. You want to give him a rest, so maybe give him 10, 15 minutes. Can Akamatsu get back into it, and then you give Estrada the run? Why not? Josh Suggs, I really thought Santi Moar should have hit this ball. If you look at where the wall is, he's got a boatload of space to work with. Leaker's cheating to his backside a little bit. It doesn't happen. Schmidt, 3, 4, 5 headers. I mean, this one he just bulldozed Marco Farfan on the back post. This was the best chance for New Mexico United. First guess who? Santi Moar. Wants it a handball. It's not going to happen because this ball comes back across. You'll get a much better look here. When he lets this thing go, it just goes off the back. Boom. There it is right there. Well done by the back line of T2. And you're going to see a lot of statistics here. Possession, 60-40. Okay, that's fine. Here's the biggest statistics you're not going to see. In the game where they blasted Real Monarchs 5-1, I talked about that balance on the left and right. The movement was 41% on the left, 38 on the right. About even, and that shows you that they're capable of giving you different looks. Right now, it's 48 on the left, 30 on the right. So that shows you how much flow they're really pushing to Suggs and Santi Moar. They don't have anything on the right, at least not on a regular basis.
Well, it looks like we're almost ready for the second half, and talked about New Mexico United a little bit, Dev. If you're Cameron Knowles, what might be the message in the dressing room?
Stay the course, withstand the pressure. The only thing that I would change from them, because New Mexico United is not going to stop. They could be up 3-0 and they're not going to stop. They could be down 3-0 and they're going to continue to come. When you're playing your defensive line, every now and then, give them a little press. Again, when you've got the distributors and Justin Schmidt and Sam Hamilton playing out of the back, you have to give them a little bit of a press. They're very composed on the defensive side of the ball, but a lot of times you're giving them a lot of time to allow more space to open up behind when you've already started the high line. So just step in a bit, apply a bit of pressure, let them make a mistake.
Officially underway in the second half here at the Lab in Albuquerque, New Mexico. New Mexico United and Portland Timbers 2 looking for the opening goal here between two of not only the best sides in the Western Conference, but two of the best scoring sides in all the USL Championship. Rankings number 1 and 3 respectively in the goals category as Juan Pablo Guzman comes away with it, but the foul was called against one of his teammates, and I believe it was on Chris Weeham. We do have an update on that Orange County-Fresno game, as Orange County have taken a 1-0 lead over Fresno in the opening 6 minutes or so. Fresno off to an unbeaten start. That could be in jeopardy against Braden Cloutier's side, which has been starting to string together some decent results. And the goal came in the 4th minute from, still not entirely sure what to call him.
Van Wolfgang.
Van Wolfgang.
Van Eyck.
But it's Van Eyck on the website.
Go figure. The jersey says one, Opta says another. Who knows?
It's your call. You're the analyst for Game of the Week.
I don't get paid enough to make that call. That's above my grade.
Cameron Knowles has already exhausted one substitution, but not willingly. Adrian Dispay coming off with an injury right around the 38th minute or so. And Max Ornstill stepping in his stead and actually got a yellow card in his first involvement in the game on a challenge that probably didn't deserve a foul to begin with, yet alone a yellow card. As Cody Mizell comes off of his line, and the league leader in saves did not have to make a single save in the first half. Akamatsu. And it should be said for the Japanese youngster that everything else leading up to the finishing, which has been non-existent, has been good.
Good enough. Good enough for what they're looking out of it. Again, you're just fulfilling a role at this point in time. David Estrada proving that he wants to solidify himself on that right flank, wear the shirt on a regular basis. Troy Lesesne has looked to him often, and he's been great and probably doesn't get enough credit, to be honest, based upon everything that's gone on with Santi Moar.
Marco Farfan goes down, and he was actually the one who put in the challenge. Slow to get to his feet, but we'll get there with the help of our head referee, Alejandro Aguilera. He's got the long studs on. You have to, I just want to double check and make sure I'm not crazy. You have to go with that on the baseball field, right? Have to.
Always enjoyed the opportunity to wear studs growing up. I grew up in Florida. You know, it's rock hard.
You don't need them.
You don't need them. No, you hurt yourself wearing them.
You're hurting other people, but
yeah, you know what I mean. Well, you went overseas and you have to wear them everywhere you go. Grass is so thick and it's always raining. Why was I over there again? It is funny because you hear so many people complain, oh, it's raining, the bad weather this, bad weather that. It's well worth the wait, though.
Frater challenging, ends up winning it. Nakamatsu. Padilla. Weehan, not a bad idea, finding Frater! It's the opener for New Mexico United. Wasn't the prettiest to build up from the home side, but the Jamaican will take it. 5th goal of the season for Frater.
Where was the back line of T2? You said it perfectly. Not the best execution by United on this ball back into the box. To be fair, it's a terrible ball. The second one that comes in here, there's no one on it. Weehan reads it great though, adjusts himself, puts it back into the mixer. Sometimes that's all you have to do as a midfielder. Give your guys up top an opportunity to make a play. Last year, Kevon Frater only had 3 goals for Phoenix Rising. That was coming off a stint where he found the net 13 times for Steve Tritchu in Colorado Springs. Number 5 on the year gives them a 1-0 lead. And that's a great job by the big guy up top, just understanding that his attacking midfielder was going to put it in front of him and give himself a chance.
And that United goal was brought to you by our Delta Dental of New Mexico. Teeth mean business, and so does Kevon Frater. And so do the fans here at the lab, the curse, doing their part. Sometimes you just got to grind them out. Throwing another assist in there for Chris Weehan as well, his 3rd of the season. Frater already has 1 game winner this season against Tacoma. Will this be another one? Still plenty of time for T2 to get back into this and for New Mexico to add on to the score. But as Devin promised at halftime, we do have a goal.
Got to imagine Troy Lesesne wanted his boys to come out hot and go get something early. They've done that. Now what's the next step? Do they continue the pressure and try and go back a second? You better believe the roof would blow right off this place from an audible standpoint and really send this lab into orbit.
Penalty. New Mexico were barking for it, and they'll get it. Max Ornstill looks to the heavens. It was a handball, says Alejandro Aguilera. And this has just gone from bad to worse for T2. And meanwhile, New Mexico United a chance from 12 yards away to double their delight.
He's not exactly making the biggest argument for himself. He says how. That's close.
It nicks him, if anything.
This gets really, really close. You have to feel bad for the 2 times the whistle's been blown on him. Now a chance for Frater, who's already gotten 5 on the year. Remember, only 3 last year. Can it be lucky number 6?
Kavon Frater. Did you make it at the double? United lead by 2.
How's that work? What a comeback story for him so far in 2019. This is the guy who mentally struggled last year, not getting regular playing time. How could you when you're sitting behind Chris Cortez, who is on a hot streak, and Didier Drogba? He has been shot out of a rocket in 2019. We've seen better PKs, but it doesn't matter. His hips open up just a bit at the end. Jake Leaker guesses right, but he cannot get his hands on the ball. Frater gets his second of the night.
And that United goal once again brought to you by your Delta Dental of New Mexico. Teeth mean business, and Kavon Frater also means business. And now all of a sudden, Kavon Frater has thrown his name into the Golden Boot race. Now one behind. Giveaway at the back from Leaker. Weehan, Mohamed, Mowar, and Leaker makes the save. And that could prove to be a mighty save for Portland Timbers too, to keep it a 2-goal game. We'll see. But Santi Mowar denied what would have been 3 goals in a matter of 5 minutes for New Mexico United.
Tremendous save from Jake Leaker to keep his squad in the game. Saw one in the first half, now in the second, both on the right, then the left. To be fair, not the best execution by Mowar. Almost assuredly in the first few games, that ends up in the back of the net. But I said to you, listen, if they lose his efforts, they're in trouble. They're proving me wrong tonight. Great to see Frater step up. Chris Weehan has had himself a game. It's good stuff for New Mexico United. Still work to be done.
Frater felt like he was taken down. Modou Jadama comes away with it and looking to spring Williamson on the other end. Keeps it in play. Sam Hamilton just dispossesses him. Bit of a collision. Hamilton comes away with it. And now look at all the confidence that's just pouring out of New Mexico at the moment. This one's starting to get a bit chippy, and a rare miscue from Josh Suggs. Well, go figure. We went 45 minutes without a goal. Kavon Frater scores 2 in a matter of 4 minutes.
How funny is it that it came from the penalty mark? Look at those numbers for T2. They've taken 6, conceded 4 in the first 8 games that they've played. They've had 10 penalties in their first 8 games. That is an astronomical number. I'll give you an idea. Look around the rest of the league. Pittsburgh 4, Tulsa 3 and 3. Those just aren't numbers that you traditionally see at this point in time of the year.
Now I'm going to ask a silly question. How much of that has to do with refereeing?
To be fair, if you take a look back at their games, a lot of them have been penalties. They have been penalties. The one we saw was
borderline.
That's an angular thing. It's borderline. It's look. What is Alejandro seeing that we aren't? He's closer than we are, and it's difficult. But it all goes back to Max Ornstill's response. He said, what are you doing? What are you talking about? And then he kind of walked away. He really said 1 or 2 things and walked away. If you're that upset about something, you better consider the fact that you're probably going to continue on a bit more. Yeah, I get it. He's on a yellow card. but most referees aren't going to book you and throw you out for a bit of dissent in a situation like that.
Good pressure from Moar, and his touch in winning that challenge went straight into Leaker. It's a good fight from Ojeda. Better sliding challenge from Juan Pablo Guzman. Now it's Kevon Frater leading the charge for New Mexico United. T2 exposed a little bit. Frater gets it out wide for Moar, but he's offside.
This is a good time for United to slow things down a bit. You've been going non-stop for almost 15 minutes here in the second half. You've gone out, you've gotten your 2 goals. I'm not saying put it on cruise control, but you don't want to overextend yourself here. Remember, T2 still carry a boatload of talent, especially on the offensive side of things. They've had 8 different guys find the back of the net. 6 of them are on the pitch right now.
I'll tell you what, this is a raucous crowd here at Isotopes Park. Every call, every play, they're savvy fans. They know what's going on. Phenomenal atmosphere. I think they've been waiting a while for a professional football team.
There you go, well done. Now you keep it, make them chase. Remember, the visitors are the ones that have to do all the work now. Down 2-0 on the road. How can you respond? Cameron Knowles' boys had a nice comeback a few weeks ago against OKC Energy. They'll need something special here against Troy Lesesne and his boys. 12-6 in shots. And to be fair, 2 of those came off set pieces for T2.
None of them have hit the frame. Akamatsu. Langsdorff putting the brakes on, somehow escaping Guzman and Muhammad. And now threading the needle for Williamson. Bends one in and easy enough for Mizell.
That was always going to be difficult for Williamson. Isolated on the right side. He had moved out from that 10 role he's been sitting in, and both he and Langsdorff struggling to regularly find themselves in this game. A lot of movement coming out of the back, and you're seeing it come out of Farfan and Nathan Smith, but they're basically finding Zambrano and either of the wide midfielders in the likes of Hurtado and Ojeda. Otherwise, they're really that front 4 or 5 that we've seen be so prolific over the first 7 games. Really cannot get on the same page.
Well, Kevon Frater is just a guy who wants to have fun. That's the song I was telling you about before the game, the Old Town Road celebration.
That's not it.
That 100%,
that dance was alive before you were born. Round and round it go, all right? It's okay. I'm happy for your generation that you've got your trance, dance, hip-hop, whatever you call it. That dance has been around forever.
But now it's known as the Old Town Road dance. You need to accept that.
No.
Listen, Grandpa.
No, not Grandpa.
Not yet.
You've never seen sports movies that are iconics in this world. So until you start taking a look at those, then we'll start having real discussions.
Kevon Frater is having a real discussion with a hat trick right now. Good ball through, trying to find Weehan. That needed to be perfect, though.
It's not a bad no look by Frater. Had some space, and here's the overexposure. We talked about a lot of space for T2 to play with. Troy Lesesne said if we're going to go in numbers, we have to stay together. both offensively and defensively.
Justin Schmidt getting stuck in. Juan Pablo Guzman finding Santi Moar. And Wehan will wisely go back. Just one clean sheet for Troy Lessane's group on the year, and that was that 0-0 draw at RGV. How nice would it be to get a clean sheet and 3 points against the #1 seed in the Western Conference at the moment on April 26th. And especially after the second Kevon Frater goal, you've just seen the heads and the quality drop from Portland Timbers too.
They're all out of sorts. They can't get anything going, no momentum whatsoever. That ball just sprayed across by Marco Farfan, and you're spot on, Tyler. Everybody's putting their heads down, no energy whatsoever by the visitors.
Williamson cuts it back on his right. Not a bad effort. Mizell makes the save. First time he's been called into action tonight. And he answers emphatically. Ryan Sierakowski waited to come on for Cameron Knowles. T2 showing teeth once again. Williamson once more. Cody Mizell once more. Electric stuff from the 27-year-old keeper.
Williamson taking offense to our negative words and their ability to get something going. He's trying here. Great save on the first one. Second one's even better by Mizell. United just looking to weather the storm a bit here. This is Cameron Knowles trying to get an attacking threat. Wasn't sure if it was going to be Ojeda or Hurtado. It will be Sierakowski. He's an interesting one too. Used to play the 9 role at Michigan State. Now that he's come over, they've pushed him out on the wing, trying to regularly get him into space. He's definitely got the speed.
Lofted ball in, Williamson! Third time's a charm for Williamson. Finally gets the better of Mizell. And Portland Timbers too have cut United's lead in half in the 66th minute. How's that for resiliency?
We saw in the first half a play drawn up by United where they had a long ball knock to the top of the 18. Justin Schmidt came in on the backside. This is another one from the training ground. Cameron Knowles has definitely been working with the chalkboard. The ball just floated to the top of the 18. Eric Williamson drifts out, shows you his athletic ability, rises to the occasion, picks out that far corner. Cody Mizell can do nothing but watch as it sails over his shoulder. And the crowd has gotten a little bit quieter.
Williamson finally able to add a goal to what's been a terrific offensive season for him thus far, in addition to his 5 assists. We did have that substitution, Sierakowski for Brian Hurtado right before the Williamson goal. And all substitutions are brought to you by RED, WCPA, and advisors. Oh, Sierakowski! And just like that, T2 are level. Sierakowski's literal first touch of the night. What a turn of events at the lab!
Eric Williamson puts this ball on a platter. Watch him pluck this thing out of the air. Top of the thigh, there you go, no problem. And to be fair, he doesn't drive through the ball. There's a challenge right at the top of the 18. Sierakowski sees his opportunity, just goes in to try and get into a tackle. There's a deflection to the far post. He'll take credit any way that he can get it. Renzo Zambrano coming over, thanking his brother in arms. Just like that, it's 2-2. Remember, United had a problem early on this season. I said, keep a weary eye. They have a problem of closing out games. They did it 3 out of the first 4, and to be fair, the first game of the week versus Tulsa, they were up 2-0 and cruising. The second 45, Roughnecks turned it over. Michael Incian made some changes. They were only able to bag 1 goal, but they were the better squad in the second half. It has come back around to haunt them once again.
Unbelievable stuff. Weehan's held up. And that'll be a yellow card as well for Todd Wharton.
Todd Wharton stepping in for Chris Weehan. Saying my apologies, my friend.
Todd Wharton issued a yellow card. That's Sitel yellow card. Issued to number 77.
The referee is shown a Sitel yellow card. Card issued to Timbers 2, number 77, Todd Wharton.
Where's the next one coming from?
You tell me.
I wouldn't have been surprised if Sarakowski got in the act. Didn't think it was going to happen like that or that quickly, to be honest.
Mizell a bit of theatrics after Langsdorff was a little bit late. Pushing and shoving between Suggs, Juan Pablo Guzman, Manny Padilla trying to play peacemaker. Williamson not helping the issue. And these two teams have not been friends since the get-go. First ever meeting between the two sides. And it's not an amicable one.
Phosphor Langsdorff just trying to bulldoze his way through. A bit of space for him to get in behind. And to be fair, it's a bit weak by Cody Mizell. Grabs for his face, doesn't get touched. And the referee just calming things down a bit here. Both squads very emotional. And how could you not be after the run of events we've seen in the past 15 minutes?
And Kavan Frater with a bit of a silly foul. 20 minutes remaining here at the lab. If you're just tuning in, I truly feel bad for you. You've missed 4 goals in the span of about 15 minutes. Where have we heard that before in the USL Championship? It was a Frater double in the 50th and 54th. One of them being a penalty, the latter of the two. Then it was Eric Williamson, who after being denied by Cody Mizell twice, finds the back of the net on a corner. And then Ryan Sarakowski enters the game right before the corner kick was taken, and then a few moments later, his first kick of the game finds the back of the net. And here we are at 2-2. Here is Sarakowski. And he's fouled by Juan Pablo Guzman. You're always going to get in trouble when you have 2 hands wrapped around the opposition.
Strap yourselves in as well. It's going to be a bumpy, finally 20 minutes. Eric Williams is standing over the ball, and everybody very chippy with each other right now. Todd Wharton and Ojeda looking to get a bit tricky early on, but they'll step away now. They'll let the Argentine dictate exactly what the next step is for T2. Loads of space at the top of the box.
Ojeda, back post. Gets all the way through.
It's another one from the training ground. Todd Wharton was bending to the back post. Looks at the far assistant referee asking for a foul. They're not going to blow a penalty in that situation, though.
Still yet to see a substitution from Troy Lesane. Just 1 remaining for Cameron Knowles. Muhammad commits the foul. Good play from Portland Timbers 2 yet again. And now all the momentum with the visitors and the #1 team in the Western Conference. And Devin Sandoval getting ready to come on. And we're being told he's going to replace Ken Akamatsu. Move Weehan out wide.
That's probably the thought, isn't it? Hate to see him removed from the middle of the field with everything that he's done, but based upon the substitution, let Frater, Sandoval run around up top. Be hard-pressed to see Muhammad or Guzman move out there, so most likely Weehan out to the right. Sandoval will just tuck inside Frater to help out up top.
Header won by Schmidt.
I don't like that substitution at all. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why you take out a midfielder to put in a hold-up striker up top when you can just make a like-for-like switch. You can bring on Estrada, Akamatsu, bring him off, and then if you want to make a change up top in the likes of Weehan or Frater, maybe you go that direction. Now you've basically removed a natural outside midfielder, and you're getting someone. Weehan, very talented, and if anyone's capable of doing it, it's him. But he's not an outside mid. That's not a position that he plays, really.
Didn't he spend a decent amount of time over in that position at Reno?
Not in this kind of system. Remember, with Ian Russell's system, when he can play in a 4-3-3,
yeah.
It's different. It's a totally different role. When you've got 2-3 guys sitting up top with you, you are isolated in a system like this. How many times do you see Santi Moar, Josh Suggs, Manny Padilla on the right and left, where they're just one-on-one?
Ojeda, not a bad ball in. Williamson scuffs it, still available for T2. Sierakowski couldn't handle it. Here's Langsdorff going for the curler. Was it a handball? Yes, it was. And a penalty for T2. An absolute bonkers second half gets even wilder.
Make that lucky number 11 for T2 and penalties. This thing was just trying to find a home. Everybody trying to get in on it. It is a penalty. Initial look, Manny Padilla knows it too. Yep. He points right to his chest. He knew he was wrong. It's difficult as a defender because you're overextending to try and get into a tackle, and as he goes to take it, you're pulling away from it. But a great opportunity for T2 to really put a stamp on this, and Williamson to bag his second of the night.
Williamson and T2 have done it. From the jaws of defeat, now lead 3-2 at the Lab. And all the credit in the world to Cody Mizell to head over and make sure that the fans here at Isotopes Park immediately bring a halt to the flying beverages, but meanwhile, T2 take the lead.
Beautifully taken penalty. Watch him rotates around the ball. How about the hips? He actually opens them and then brings his right foot across. He's opened that as well. Not the best showing that we've seen from the fans at Isotopes Park, but I like what you said. Credit to Cody Mizell, because he'd be the first one to step in, get emotional about something, and run his mouth, but he steps up to the hometown fans, tell them we're not about that, we're much better, and they immediately responded.
I think that's incredible from Cody. I really do, especially given how emotional this game has been for him to step in like that.
Once again, a reminder, fans, anyone caught throwing bottles and or drinks onto the field will be ejected.
So Williamson with his second goal of the night, his first two of the season, and T2, who are down 2-0 after the 54th minute penalty from Kavan Frater, have come storming back and have shaken the Lab to its very core. Where do we go from here now?
If you're a United fan, you hope that there's something left in the tank. The response from T2 has been fantastic, beyond professional. But we really haven't seen a solid comeback victory from New Mexico United yet. We've seen them give up leads. We've seen them go out in front and maintain it. But outside of what they did in Seattle against Tacoma Defiance, they really don't know what it's like to play from behind and really go up against a challenge. Troy Lesane told us last week they were outplayed against Reno. It wasn't like they were played off the park. It was a good game. But now is a good chance at home to gain some momentum for your season. Your back's up against the wall and grab a bit of momentum. This would be a massive victory for T2 on the road, though. You better believe Cameron Knowles is doing everything he can on his sideline with Andrew Greger to figure out how they manage the next 11 minutes.
Kevon Frater getting back for defensive responsibilities, does well, but Zambrano does even better, however, commits the foul. Head to the New Mexico United's Twitter page to vote on the Star Brothers Brewing Company Star of the Match, twitter.com/New Mexico UTD. Yes, we can, of course, in Spanish, is the chant here at Isotopes Park.
New Mexico United fans, you continue to impress and amaze us. Tonight's record-setting crowd, 12,921.
Just south of 13,000 here at the Lab on hand for what is probably the biggest marquee matchup in New Mexico United history. Just with regards to where the two teams sit right now in the Western Conference standings. Frater throwing his weight around, it was clean. Moar out wide for Suggs. Suggs still with it, delivers, it was over Weehan's head. You just get the feeling that there's something left in this game. Moar brings it down deftly. Moar. Suggs a good delivery, Frater was there. Weehan keeps it in play. He whips one back in. Moar comes bulldozing in and actually runs up the backside of Sandoval.
Trying to figure out how Moore does not get a touch on this ball. Lovely job by Weehan on the right side, chasing it down and putting it back in. And how the Spaniard does not get even the tiniest of touches, all alone on the back post.
Moar. Here he goes. And Nathan Schmidt says, I'm not having any of that. You see both sides of that.
It's great defending by Nathan Smith.
It's great defending for Nathan Smith, but I'm saying the stuff after the fact. I mean, Nathan Smith is taking his time. He knows the situation, knows the game. Santi Moar is trying to help him up, but...
That's where you walk over and try and help him up, not rip his arm out of the socket. That's probably where he got himself in trouble. I would have done the same thing. I just probably would have gotten carded.
Yeah, probably.
There's Frater already motioning to our referee. As you alluded to, Tyler, bit of time wasting by Jake Leaker on the back.
Mohamed trying to use his strength, gets bailed out by the referee. 84th minute. I'm sure we'll have at least 3 minutes of stoppage time, given all the goals and stoppages. Not a bad idea from Weehan, but his first touch escapes him. Is there another one left in this for you on either side?
I don't see it happening. It's the fluidity we saw at New Mexico United in the first half is gone, especially at the start of the second when they went and got their goals. Again, I said you needed to pull back the reins a bit after you got out to a 2-0 lead. You wonder, even after the first goal, why not make a change if you're Troy Lesesne then? You weren't seeing what you wanted to out of the right side. Why wait for the second goal and then you make the change? And then again, you don't even bring on a midfielder. You bring in Devin Sandoval, who's a great player, has fulfilled a great role for you, but you've pretty much taken one of the best players on the field tonight, Chris Weehan, and stuck him out on the right by himself. And the only time he's been able to touch the ball, he's trying to create for himself in one-on-one situations where he's got the flick between the legs and a lot, all on his own.
It takes a deflection. Moore will be able to get there, but has to slow up a bit. Now puts it into the path of Suggs. And Suggs' delivery is way off, which is rare for him. And Devin, to your point, and I'm curious as to whether Estrada is even available tonight from a health standpoint, because he's seemed like a no-brainer to bring on after they take a 2-0 lead. A calming veteran presence, as Leaker's going to be shown a yellow card here. And that, of course, is brought to you by Seitel. That seemed like a no-brainer for me, to take the sting out of the game and to just really get somebody on the field who's going to keep the ball for you and not totally slow things down, but at the very least be a bit more possession-oriented.
You know what else you could do? Tommy Madden. Tommy Madden's been used on the left wing. How many times with Bethlehem Steel do we see Santi Moar go left and right? So, again, I understand now you're drastically switching things up from what you've done in the first few games, but if you're not going to bring on Estrada, why not bring Santi over the right? That might give you a bit of balance, to be honest, and start to settle these things out. And especially fans that aren't as familiar with the game as you'd like, it's like a timeout in basketball. You're almost slowing the game down. Let's change up the personnel. Let's give them a different look and something else to think about. There was so much emotion involved. It just overran the game. T2 let it get out in front of them, and they got 3 goals.
Williamson's penalty stands as the game winner. He had the goal to cut it in half. Sandoval trying to line up the header. Orn still did well. Up steps Todd Warden, puts it into the path of Langsdorff, but shows too much of it to Schmidt. Boy, it is sluggish over there in the infield. Juan Pablo Guzman, bit too handsy.
Great job by Williamson, just holding things up, and notice he didn't let the foul override him. But if you're United, remember, don't panic. You got plenty of time. There's 4 minutes left on the clock. I agree with you. There's going to be at least 3-minute stoppage, maybe even 4. So you're looking at 7 to 10 minutes roughly to get back in this. The run of play and form that we saw from them in the opening 60, 65 minutes has basically disappeared. Just find a way to get back to it.
Now a late foul called against New Mexico United. Now Todd Wharton milking it for what it's worth.
He gets whacked. He gets smacked here by Juan Pablo. That's some of that emotion and frustration we talked about coming out. Midfielder to midfielder.
They're going to earn every point they come out of Isotopes Park with. I will tell you that much. David Estrada getting set to come on.
He'll probably pull off a defender or a midfielder here.
And David Estrada will replace Salim Muhammad, who actually did really well in the middle of the field tonight. He played an excellent game.
It's difficult for him, too, because in the role that Weehan has, he sits right underneath Frater. There's a big gap. Muhammad did a good job providing the opportunity to close down that space, especially with Juan Pablo, who likes to sit deeper. And now you remove a midfielder, and you bring on an outside winger. That'll clog up the middle. That allows Weehan to explore the middle a bit more than if Estrada would have come on immediately.
Plenty of contact. The foul going against Ornstill. He needs to be careful. He's already on a yellow. Can Sandoval keep it in play? Yes, he can. But quite literally rolls it out. 90th minute. And we're just being told that we're going to have a minimum of 5 minutes added on. This has been fun.
Everything you could have wanted between these two squads.
In the second half.
Yeah. And to be fair, the first half wasn't bad. They were just better tactically. Guys were holding their positions and fulfilling their roles much better. Things have opened up, emotion has taken over, and the override has caused things to develop that we wouldn't necessarily see. The second PK was 100% going to the spot. The first one, you still have to wonder.
Sandoval. Nice little cut back. Now it's with Santi Moar. Suggs clips it in. And that was extremely awkward for T2. They're lucky to come away unscathed. Zambrano, meanwhile, clips it on the other end, but it's too far out in front of Langsdorff, and Mizell will be able to restart. Check that, they changed it to 4 minutes. Stoppage time brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. We're in the orange zone now. New Mexico United in a defensive third as Sandoval's header was snapped straight into the hands of Jake Leaker.
Now you really wonder what's going on with Estrada. Weehan's still out on the right. Estrada's sitting as a midfielder. He's basically just replaced Muhammad and is hanging out in the middle of the field. It is very odd decision-making down the stretch here from Lassane. Can't figure out what he's trying to fulfill with those substitutions and basically totally changing every position that he's played for him.
Leaker can't keep it in play, and a corner kick coming up for United. And Santi Moar makes it very clear to Chris Weehan that they need to get this right.
Not a lot of time allowed Justin Schmidt, Devin Sandoval, even Sam Hamilton to get set. Those are the big boys. Frater's obviously great in the air, get everybody in the box. I'd stick someone right in front of Jake Leaker. Don't allow him to come out and challenge this ball. He stands 6'5", and you want as many bodies available to you as possible.
It's a design set piece. It was loose in front. Sandoval got the initial touch to it. Padilla clips it in. They win the initial header. Awkward. Leaker got a paw to it. And we'll do it one more time, this time from the other side. 2 minutes remaining.
This came off his center back. Modou Jadam almost put in the back of his own net.
And here comes Cody Mizell. He gets the green light from Troy Lassane. All hands and keepers on deck for New Mexico United. Good ball in, it's one, and it's saved by Leaker.
Have to go quick. Weehan double duty, have to get this ball and get it right back in. Jake Leaker right on the doorstep, making save after save.
Weehan again. Juan Pablo Guzman. Back out for Weehan. Space to deliver. Back post. Knotted back in. Sandoval is there. So is Hamilton. Loose in front. It's Frater! What a hit! New Mexico equalized in the dying moments. It's a hat trick for Frater. Unbelievable at the lab.
Had enough? Wow. You felt like it was never going to happen. Save after save by Jake Leaker. This ball just willing its way to the top of the box. And the Jamaican, who all game long has found a way to keep his team in it, got them out in front, running away from T2 at 2-0. The visitors score 3 straight and almost assuredly are walking out of Isotopes Park with 3 points. And Kevon Frater completes the comeback to get it knotted up at 3 in added time.
Full time, raw emotion, football at its finest. 6 goals in the second half. Kevon Frater a hat trick, Williamson a brace. Comebacks galore. Soak it in. We'll be back to put a bow on it. Well, I would say that I hope that all of you had a chance to calm down.
Liar. Liar.
I certainly haven't. Devin hasn't. What a game. No goals in the first 45 minutes. 6 goals in the second 45 minutes. 3 of them coming courtesy of Kevon Frater, who's the Star Brothers Brewing Company star of the match. Number 10 scores goals number 5, 6, and 7 on the season, which puts him level with Luca Lobo and Santi Moar for the Golden Boot race. And it's time for the Michelob Ultra play of the match. What else?
I'll give you a hint.
It's a Kevon Frater goal.
I can't even believe that this ended up. How funny is it we said there is only one motion when this guy steps up to hit a ball. It is full force, 100 miles an hour, with every muscle in his body behind it. Perfect display. Great hat trick for Kevon Frater.
And here's a spoiler alert. Our full-time highlights are going to be all 6 goals in the second half. And you know what? It's interesting because the 2 goals for New Mexico United to give them the 2-0 lead, it was a bit of smoke and mirrors because the buildup wasn't great for the first goal. The second goal, I don't know if I want to call it a phantom handball, but it wasn't clean. You didn't feel like New Mexico United has dominated this game. They deserve a 2-0 lead, and Portland Timbers 2 come back and sort of show that.
You're spot on. However, you would say the better run of play was definitely New Mexico United. They weren't overwhelming the game, but they did have the better run of it. T2 they hung around, and that's what happens to great teams. When you give them a chance, they stay around. Eric Williamson stepped up, and he had those 2 strikes that couldn't hit the back of the net. Great set-piece header. They executed unlike New Mexico couldn't. How did this one? This is the craziest one to me. Right off his thigh. Now, he means to put this ball out in front of him. You can see it drop it in. But the run through by Sierkowski, he's just trying to get stuck in a tackle. They pull out of it, hits his right foot, ends up at the back of the net. You and I looked at each other like, really? Like, just like that, and then the penalty here. We initially thought that this was wrong. The referee gets it right. Stud PK by Eric Williamson, just steps up, bottom right corner. Thank you very much.
And he's a terrific player. He has a bright, bright future ahead of him. He's been excellent. He's not got on the score sheet until tonight. He had 5 assists coming into this game. He gets his first and second goals of the season. And at that point, you thought that it was over. And New Mexico United really sort of started to muster up these chances. And this is just an unbelievable hit from Frater.
The timing, the location of the ball where he puts it, how he hits it, the time of the game, the emotion, everything behind this says this ball's going over the bar. You see it time and time again where a player lets the raw emotion overwhelm him and can't stick to his form. That's not the case with Frater. He bags his third of the night and gets his team a point.
Here's a look at the numbers. Although numbers can't really do this game justice. I'm still sort of speechless.
You don't have to say anything. I'll say it for you.
Go ahead.
I mean, look at him. Double digits in shots on goal. Shots. 9 on target, 5 for T2. Efficiency was a big number that we talked about coming in here. Both teams very efficient on the ball once again, bagging around 25-30%. The possession became a bit more meaningful to T2 in the second half. You could see them have a run of it. And look, 3 goals for each team, 2 PKs in the second half, 1 point, a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, I get it, it's not Christmas, but I'll tell you what, that was as much of the holiday as I could ask for in the month of April. That was fun.
So up next for Portland Timbers 2, they're going to be home against RGV Tuesday, April 30th. Meanwhile, for New Mexico United, they will host San Antonio FC on Cinco de Mayo next Sunday. Unbelievable stuff, and it's only April 26th. 3-3 is the final score here from Isotopes Park. For our entire crew and my broadcast partner, Devin Kerr, we are sadly saying so long for now. 3-3 is your final score, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.